How to understand yourself and change your life. Antonis was always a person with high expectations of himself. He had big ambitions and worked tirelessly to achieve them. Despite appearing successful on the outside, he felt trapped in an endless pursuit of success, never truly satisfied. The more he worked, the more his insecurities grew, and the feeling that he was never enough kept haunting him. One day, after a particularly tough period where he felt he had reached his breaking point, he met Maria. Maria was a woman who had also gone through tough times, but had managed to recognize her strengths and understand her weaknesses. This meeting was a turning point for Antonis. Maria helped him see things from a new perspective and guided him to look more closely within himself. At first, Antonis struggled to accept the idea of introspection. The thought that all the issues he was facing stemmed from his internal conflicts seemed almost impossible to accept. However, Maria explained to him that understanding oneself is the first step toward making meaningful changes in life. She spoke about the importance of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. She told him that in order to become happier and better, one must first recognize and accept their weaknesses before attempting to change them. Antonis began a process of self-reflection, asking himself questions that he had avoided before. Why do I always feel like I'm not enough? Why do I constantly seek validation from others? What am I most afraid of? Day by day, he started to realize that his fear of failure and need for external approval were key factors that had kept him away from true happiness for years. Next, Maria guided him to understand his emotions. How did his thoughts affect his perception of the world around him? How did his feelings of insecurity and self-doubt affect his relationships and professional success? Through this introspection, Antonis began to understand that true change starts with accepting oneself and cultivating a healthier self-image. His first real challenge was to stop comparing himself to others. He began taking time to recognize his own abilities and achievements without relying on external recognition. This shift allowed him to feel calmer and more confident in his choices. He began to let go of his insecurity and excessive worry about how others saw him. This process wasn't easy, but Antonis realized something crucial. Change requires effort, but the most important transformation happens through internal acceptance. If he could find the strength to accept his weaknesses and love himself as he was, then he was ready to better understand the world around him and take control of his life. The lesson from today's story with Antonis is that the true change begins when you look within yourself with honesty and accept your flaws and weaknesses. Only then can you create the life you truly desire.